I'm here at Coolmore with Mark Byrne of the nominations department, and he's going to tell us about the 3 new stallions at Coolmore this year. Mark, let's start with Calyx, who is a very sharp 2-year-old and a classy sprinter.
Yes, he won his maiden on debut by 5 lengths, and then only 10 days later went on to win the Coventry Stakes. He bet Advertise, who was a triple Group 1 winner. And in fact, the race split into 2 sides that day, and he won his side by 6.5 lengths, so he showed a lot of speed and a lot of brilliance. At 2, he was time form rated 120p, and at 3, he was time form rated 124. That's higher than or equal to than the English, Irish, and French Guineas winners of 2019. And in fact, he showed a lot of brilliance, just like his sire Kingman, and his great-great-grandsire Danzig has a very similar profile to him.
And of course, Kingman is an emerging elite sire, and there's also much to recommend him on the dam side as well.
Yes, well, his dam was a very good 2-year-old herself. She won a Group 3 by 5 lengths, beating Immortal Verse. She's also a full sister to a French champion sprinter, so there's a lot of class, a lot of speed in the family, and he shows that himself.
And then finally, what can you tell us about Calyx on looks?
He's a very classy individual, good looking horse, very slick mover, typical for the sire, very good head in him, lovely colour. He looks fast, he was fast. I think when people see him, they'll be very impressed with him.
And then we have Magna Grecia, who was a Group 1 winning 2-year-old and a classic winner.
Yes, interestingly, Magna Grecia is the only son or the only horse by Invincible Spirit who won a Group 1 at 2 and 3. He won the Virtue Futurity at 2, beaten Phoenix of Spain and then Circus Maximus, so that form was very well franked. And then at 3, he went on to be a classic winning minor, just like his paternal half-brother Kingman, where he bet the subsequent QE2 winner by 2.5 lengths.
And he's got the pedigree as well?
Yeah, interestingly as well, I believe the first horse to go to stud out of a Galileo mare is Night of Thunder, and he's got off to a sensational start. So Invincible Spirit out of a Galileo mare, he's got a lot of good qualities about him.
And what can you tell us about him on looks?
Looks-wise, he's a very good-looking horse. He was a 340,000 guineas foal, which at the time was the most expensive coal foal by Invincible Spirit. He's a big presence to him, very good walker. So he's got the looks, the physicality, and the race record to back it up as well. So I think he's a very hot sire prospect.
Then last but certainly not least, you have 10 Sovereigns joining you this year.
Yes, 10 Sovereigns at 2 was one of the fastest ever winners of Middle Park Stakes, which is a very interesting thing when you think that there's over 150 years of running. And then at 3, he went on to be the second fastest ever winner of the July Cup in 140 years of running. So to think that not only he won both, but he won both in exceptionally fast times means that he must be one of the most exciting stallion prospects around.
And of course, he's the first son of No Nay Never to stud and at Coolmore, and No Nay Never is going great guns.
Yeah, well, No Nay Never himself was like 10 Sovereigns. They were both unbeaten 2-year-olds, and interestingly enough, actually, his grandsire Scat Daddy was a Group 1 winner. And if you look at it, the next 4 generations on the male line are all Group 1 winning 2-year-olds just like him. So it's an exceptionally fast, precocious family with a lot of class.
And would you say his looks back up the performance and pedigree?
Absolutely. He was a 200,000 guineas yearling from the first crop of No Nay Never, and when you see him, he's a big, fast, strong looking horse, so he's going down extremely well, good active mover, and we're very happy with him. He's very, very like his sire No Nay Never in physicality as well.